Hey, super legends, superheroes, and superstars. My name's Dr. Dre, but without the doctor. You're tuned into Hot Hire, which is the number one place if you're looking to get into your ideal job in the shortest amount of time possible. So today I've got a special guest. This woman, so we've been connected for a few weeks now, and this woman is an entrepreneur, a mother, a wife, a coach, a cancer survivor, and so much more. So I'm really excited. I'm really pumped that she's on the show today. So I want to say a massive, huge welcome to Karen O'Connor. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Hi, Dre. Thank you so much for having me and for that wonderful introduction. I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here as well. So, Karen, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm actually got similar like to you, I think, as well, a background in recruitment. I've worked in the job network, and I worked helping unemployed people and long-term unemployed people get back into work. And I've kind of like found that through my life, I've transitioned into different roles and different jobs. But at the core was always the idea of wanting to help. And my last job last year before COVID was actually as career transition assistant. So I was helping people over 45 shifting from one job to another, just finding out what their transferable skills was and how can they perhaps use it in a different industry or a different type of role because the previous one wasn't suitable. And I did also my certification in NLP and hypnotherapy because I found that in everything, the mind and the mindset is key. So after that, and gotten into a lot of personal development, and I was doing a course to kind of like help me take my business online. COVID hit, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so in the midst of all that, I actually finished the course and earlier this year, and I decided to launch my coaching business. So I'm just wanted to share this because it's testament that first of all, nothing really matters if you don't let it be a barrier. And I got my job at Skill Hire last year after being over 50. And I launched, like I said, my coaching for the first time over 50 after cancer and, COVID and you name it. And even though COVID is actually, obviously a very challenging time, it's also bringing up a lot of opportunities and is getting people connected on with the internet, and that is also something that we can take advantage of. Yes.
Right, brilliant. So I've just got a couple of questions. Did you say over 50? You're not over 50, are you?
Yes, I am.
No.
Yes, just a few years, but yeah.
And like the NLP, so yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I got my NLP certificate. It is so powerful, and the way that I view the world
definitely
and
that was the same for me. And because I am a firm believer that because I had done my certification last year before I actually got my cancer diagnosis, it just it made such a huge difference, because I know, and I've heard, when you go through something like that, you've got your grieving process, and you get something where you face, death, and, people generally kind of like go and you might get a bit depressed, and you might get, all that sort of negative sort of snowballing downhill until you kind of like come up at the other end and accept it and move forward. But I literally, honestly can say I bypassed all that, because I knew that when I was diagnosed, I kind of like took it from, okay, well, this is it. This is my reality now. What can I do about it? And that changes everything. And then I use some of the strategies and the techniques in combination with my treatment as well, and visualization and hypnotherapy. And I, the way I see it is you can sort of be defined by an event like that in a negative way or in a positive way, because that was sort of like what also gave me the confirmation, so to speak, to say, okay, I am beginning my coaching. I'm finally doing what I always wanted to do, because I knew, it was the time, and that was it. And I think it's really important that we can be in control of our lives no matter what happens. And that's sort of the most important message, because it applies when you're looking for work as well, obviously.
So Hey, Super Legends, so sorry to interrupt the show. If you do like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like, comment and share. Thank you. You clear now? You good?
Yeah, well, I had my first check in August and it was all clear. But obviously with any cancer at the beginning, there's going to be like checks every 3 months. So I've got my next one in December. But what I always thought, even when I had the first diagnosis, is whatever happens, like we've never have anything guaranteed. So whatever happens, make the most of it, while you can. And the days that I felt sick or in pain or whatever, okay, well, you might have a down day, but the other days, if you're good, do the best you can. So there's no point just thinking of the worst case scenario. Most of us are very good at visualizing, but we just tend to do worst case scenario instead of best case scenario. Exactly.
Right, so Karen, do you have any tips that you can share with the audience?
Yes, so I would say my 2 key areas are mindset, of course, and looking at options and work options and alternatives. So let me expand a little bit. So first of all is to make sure that obviously the way that you feel and the way that you think will affect your results. So this is something that I've seen, particularly working with people, that were mature and long-term unemployed. If you believe that there's not enough jobs out there, that you're too old, that no one's hiring, that you haven't got the career, whatever it is, even if there's some truth to it, it's certainly not going to serve you. It's just doing you a disservice, because your attitude is going to determine your actions. So what happens is that people that feel that way, you feel defeated, it comes across in the way you talk to people on the phone when you call for a job. It comes across in the way you go for an interview. It comes across in the way you write your letters and how much effort you're going to put in an application. Are you going to just, tick numbers and meet a quota, or are you actually applying to get the job? And so attitude really is everything. And there are countless examples of people that defeated the odds and achieved success in spite of, or perhaps because of, the disadvantages or the age or things like that. And I always like to bring a couple of examples to kind of put things into perspective. And one of them is Thomas Edison. So we all know he discovered the light bulb, but what we don't know is that he had about 1,000 unsuccessful attempts. So can you imagine? I mean, would you keep going after 999 times? But you never know. Yes. And that's the thing, but you never know when is the one that is going to be the breakthrough. And the same of Colonel Sanders. So he didn't become a professional chef until he was 40, and he didn't franchise KFC until he was 62. And yeah, because those two are sort of common, but I came across another lady today, which is pretty impressive. Her name's Ernestine Shepherd, and she's 78 now, but she's the world's oldest female bodybuilder. And that's not the most impressive, because I know people can get fit and keep fit, like through the years, but she started bodybuilding at 56. So age is only a barrier if you let it. So that's my number one. Mindset really is everything. And the number 2 thing that I would think I'd love to share is that if you're looking for work, your job search is your job. So spend a reasonable amount of time looking for jobs, looking at the ads, tailoring your resume, your cover letter to each application. And if you find at a time like now, there are not enough positions available in your field, consider what else you can do. What are your transferable skills? What experience do you have that could go, oh, well, I was doing a bit of accounts in this job, but I'm not qualified. What else can you do? I supervise somebody. Okay, well, maybe you can do that in a different industry, in a different role, because we know that there's a lot of industries that have been hit. But there are also industries that are growing now. So post-COVID, transport, warehousing, Australia Post, and some of the trades and food manufacturing industries are growing. So there was an example in the news not long ago, and there were 2 former aircraft pilots, and they started working as couriers for Australia Post. That's right. So the most important thing, I think, is to keep your options open, and to also, I don't think that any job is ever something that you should be ashamed of or that is beneath you. Because in my personal view, it's more important to do something to earn your money than to ask for help. So that is there if you need to, but just keep your options open. And it doesn't mean that that's going to be the job that you're going to be forever, but it's a stepping stone. And the other thing is nowadays, and especially like I said, with the internet and everything, is perhaps consider the opportunity of launching a business, you know, based on your knowledge, your experience, your passion. And something interesting is the Royal Australian Institute research showed that 33% of small business owners or small businesses are operating by a person over 50. So again, never too late.
Wow, that's interesting. Really interesting. Yeah, thank you. There was so much gold in that. So much gold. All right. So what exciting things or projects have you got going on at the moment, and how can people contact you?
Sure. So at the moment, I'm actually working on a project that's very close to my heart. It's a fundraiser for a COVID fundraiser for Peru. And people might not know, but I'm actually originally from Peru in South America. And all my family is still there. And it's a country that is doing it pretty tough. And what I've decided to do is put together a very nice event online where we're going to talk about how to really sort of turn things around in terms of adversity. So I'll be talking about how your story creates your reality. Another Peruvian in America talks about how to roadmap to a life of purpose. A famous inspirational author, who's Peruvian, now living in Spain, is going to talk about not letting fears stop your dreams. And another Peruvian in France is also going to talk about his personal story with one of his parents actually passing through COVID, and how he turned that and overcome adversity and turned that into a pattern. And now he's helping this charity in Peru. So it's something that's going to be wonderful. It's going to be in my Facebook page, which is Inspired to Action by Karen.
I'll make sure I put that on the bottom.
Yeah, so I'll put that in. So it's 21st November, but it's probably going to be too late for Eastern states, but we're going to keep the recordings for a week because it's going to be valuable content. We wanted to make sure that it was something that will help. We know that a lot of people are affected in one way or another by COVID, whether it's just income, loss of job, or even just, you know, the undue stress of the situation. So we want to offer some content that can help everybody.
Oh, yes. Amazing. That's amazing. Good on you. All right. So Karen, it's about that time. Do you have a dad joke for us to finish on?
I do indeed. Well, actually, it wasn't a dad joke, but I had to find a mum joke, and I wanted to do it job related. So I found this one, and it said, "I just lost my job as a sidekick, and I did not see it coming."
I didn't see the punchline coming. That was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
All right, Karen, I just want to say a massive thank you. Like, oh man, you've just given so much gold, and I've enjoyed listening to your story. So thank you very much. And guys, we will see you next week. That's a wrap.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. Bye.